The final update of Fortnite OG has arrived, and now Season 9 and X are in-game. You'll immediately notice this from Spawn Island as a huge POI has returned to the map. Hovering above Dusty Divot is the iconic meteor from Chapter 1, frozen in place, ready for the live event. Inside, the scientist pod is still here along with the secret chest, but for zero build players, don't worry about getting down. You can jump off with anti-gravity effects, which makes landing here totally worth it, well, unless half the lobby beats you to it. If you need a way to get up here though, you can use Fortnite's latest vehicle, Ballers. They have finally returned after years of anticipation with a 100% spawn rate. In the trailer, they even run someone over with it, which would never happen in a real game, but I guess that's possible. If you prefer to get around a smoother way, the jetpacks have been unvaulted. These haven't been in the game since Chapter 3, and now that we're technically back in Season 9, they have fittingly returned to the loot pool. Now, I'd enjoy them while you can, as they'll be gone in a week once the season ends. Unlike the original, you can aim down sights with flying around now, but people are already criticizing this version of the jetpack as it runs out of fuel super quick. Speaking of fuel, preparations are officially underway for the live event, with Dusty Divot reaching its final stage. Now if you land here, the rocket's construction is complete and they have strapped Kato Thorne's time machine to it. Directly above, you'll now find the event countdown ticking away until the Chapter 4 finale, and this time machine is the ultimate teaser for what's about to happen. You can find even more secrets inside. Fortnite has quietly updated the interior with new technology. Screens now show the rift beacons from Season X, even though rift zones are completely missing from the OG map. You'll also find computers and servers for the rocket preparing for the eventual launch on December 2nd. This is where it gets strange. They're scanning equipment for the mechs, but there's only one problem. Fortnite hasn't added them. People have been debating whether Epic would enable broods all month, and it started to become likely. Although it would have been insanely controversial, with mechs being the most hated item in Fortnite history. Some of us wanted these to return just to get a taste of the chaos for a week, but it seems like Epic have played it safe, and they are not returning for OG. That's unlike junk rifts, which are incredibly fun to use. These are technically the Chapter 3 version though, with police cars still being removed. On the bright side, at least those hilarious kill feed messages are sticking around, and thanks to Zero Build, it's gonna be harder to counter these than ever. And that's not the only item to make a sudden reappearance. This is Season 9 after all, so the Storm Flip has returned. Back in the day, this would change damage depending on what the Storm Circle was. So early in the game, they were pretty useless. However, this has changed for the OG season, and now they deal the same damage for the entire match. Did you know this is the first time we've had the Storm Flip in BR since 2019? It was only a game for one season. And the 0 point is only going to be in game for the next week. Yes, it has appeared over at Loot Lake, where Kevin the Cube remains. Obviously, this is an alternate timeline to the events of 2018. If we were still following that path, Kevin would have exploded weeks ago and Rift Zones would be here. But now, we're preparing for a completely different event to the black hole from all those years ago. The 0 point was originally breaking down and causing time and space to mess up, but now it looks perfectly stable, no cracks or anything. So, without us having to save the orb from exploding, things are about to be insanely unpredictable. Something else we never saw coming was the removal of quad crashers. Today's update has removed one of the best ways to get around. Yeah, it makes sense, we do have planes, ballers, and grapple gloves, but people just find these easier to hop on and get around. They weren't nerfed to the ground anyway, with players complaining about the lack of build damage or ability to fly, so let me know how you feel about it in the comments. What can fly are drones, which are now back across the island in the form of hot drops. What's more, you can land at a gold name POI and find loot drones hovering in the air. Take them down for some quick loot. In fact, you might be able to earn a vaulted item that shouldn't be in the game. There is a chance the drones will drop a heavy shotgun, which is totally a bug, so I'd recommend using it while you still can. In Chapter 1, the best place to find these drones was at Starry Suburbs, except that does not return in Fortnite OG. The POI is completely missing, which means that you won't be able to get your hands on that legendary TAC SMG. The other rarities are still around the island though, so keep an eye out for them. If you love that spray and pray meta, I'm sorry to announce that the drum gun has been removed after only 1 week. It wasn't as powerful as it used to be, but people still pick these up to decimate builds, giving out that suppressing fire. Now, it's been replaced by a much more annoying item, the drum shotgun. The spray and pray meta is still alive thanks to this, and Fortnite has taken it even further. They've added a purple and gold version of the drum, which was never in Chapter 1, and it's more powerful than ever before. I can already tell this is going to be the most controversial item in the loot pool, but on the bright side, it's only in game for the next week or so. Speaking of overpowered items, the proximity grenade launcher is back, which no one expected to see. It's replaced the quad launcher, which some are gonna love and others are gonna be so disappointed to hear. Personally, I think the proximity is way better, but it also unlocks an OP combo thanks to the arrival of the jetpack. Once you use these two at the same time, you can literally rain explosives from above, and it's insanely effective. If you don't find that combo though, you can still decimate enemies from the sky thanks to the airstrike. These have been questionable over the years, with half the fanbase finding them super useful and everyone else, well, they think it's trash. Now we're in 2023 and and have a chance to use these again so we can finally decide just how powerful they really are. And I mentioned earlier how this alternate timeline has caused most of the original POIs to be completely missing. For a Season 9 and X update, there are basically no new locations on the map, including the famous Rift Zones. That means Greasy Grove is a regular old POI, so Mongrel could safely land here without yelling, "Taco time!" Yeah, this used to be insanely annoying to visit. Every few minutes, you'd be forced to dance with no way to escape it. Over in Paradise Palms, they changed it so you could turn into props like back in 2018, making the whole area a bite-sized version of Prop Hunt. Honestly, one of the coolest Rift Zones of all time, but not as game-changing as Tilted. This was renamed to Tilted Town and made the entire city into a small town from the Wild West. There was one rule: no building. The first time we ever had zero build in Fortnite. It was a small experiment, but fast forward to 2023, and this is a permanent mode now, so I mean, there's no reason for the Rift Zone to exist. With all of these changes to the Fortnite timeline, it's affected other locations too, like Junk Junction. In 2018, this would update each season, eventually showing the tilted clock tower being thrown into the scrapyard. Season X would also add a logo for this place made out of a metal dog bone, but neither of these have made it to Fortnite OG. The infantry rifle, however, is back. This gun has gone under the radar for the longest time. No one ever really pays attention to it, but I seriously recommend picking this up in 2023 as it does insane damage from a long distance, especially in zero build where people can't defend themselves at all. If you're a victim of any of these new weapons, don't worry, there's a quick and easy way to heal up. Chug splashes have been brought back, and I honestly thought these are first added in Chapter 2, but no, they are actually from the original Season 9. We've been asking for more healing items for weeks, so it's amazing to see these finally in game. But you will struggle to find this next item, which has an insanely low spawn rate. Fortnite has brought back the Heavy Sniper, and that's gonna scare a lot of people until you realize it is one of the rarest items in the entire loot pool right now. There's practically a zero chance of it appearing in a chest. You're more likely to find them in a supply drop. So if you find one of these, hold on to it for dear life. Things get real confusing though when you realize the combat shotgun is missing. Today's update was meant to be Season 9 and X, and back in 2018, that was the season which introduced the combat to the game. Instead, we got this thing a week early, and now Fortnite has corrected their mistake. It joins more expected items in the vault, like cannons and treasure maps. Of course, these were part of the pirate season, so everyone knew these were gonna vanish. I gotta admit, cannons were way too fun for the short time we had them, so I will miss them, but hopefully they'll return in Chapter 5 somehow. Speaking of next season, what you can expect are new Rift encounters that we thought were scheduled for the OG map. At the start of the season, Epic added Rift encounters that would give us a kinetic blade, a dirt bike, or a shockwave hammer. Everyone freaked out and thought we'd be able to use these within weeks, but instead, the grapple glove one was added with the others staying in the files for good. Basically, what I'm trying to say is either they're scrapped or will be arriving in Chapter 5. And just before we get there, the next Fortnite event has officially been revealed. On December 2nd, we'll be able to enjoy the Big Bang, a mysterious event that'll apparently be a new beginning for Fortnite as we know it. Part of this will include a short Eminem concert, adding the infamous rapper to the Icon series with a bunch of different outfits. In fact, one of them will be only exclusive to the Big Bang. So, if you missed the event, you won't get a chance to earn the Marshall Magma style ever again. But let's enjoy the time we have now, as Chapter 1 is only here for another week, and sadly, some of your favorite items might be already missing. On screen are the rest of the vaulted list, from hunting rifles and balloons to clingers and dynamite. Make sure to grab as much XP as you can too by completing the timed storyline quests. Sloan's third log has vanished because it's now been rewritten for the 4th time. Jones has completed all of his preparations, with his changes rippling forward to the present. The final log can be found inside Dusty's warehouse, with Sloan leaving Jones a farewell message.
We're both heading off into the unknown. I guess this is goodbye for this me and that you. But we'll meet again. Reality's not done with us yet.
Players are also pretty sad that Truckosaurus hasn't changed during the entire season. Sure, we got to see him back again, but in 2018, he even turned into the mecha design and lost an arm just like the event. Well, this time around, he stands there just the same as day one. Not the only iconic Easter egg to remain untouched, at least Truckosaurus is in game because John Wick's house is nowhere to be found. This originally appeared in the first Season 9 as a tribute to the movies and the official crossover in Fortnite. They even had a secret chest spot that was a reference to John Wick's hidden armory. Sadly, it has not returned, but there are ways to feel like John Wick in our first UEFN map, a box fight PvP. With zero input delay, instant load times, and randomized game modes, it is truly the best box fight map in Fortnite. We work with Foe to put the extra T5G touch, and if you earn enough eliminations, you can get a custom pet or kill animation. It's already a fan favorite, hitting #1 on Fortnite's trending tab, so don't miss out. Thank you guys so much for giving this opportunity to us. Code is on screen and at the top of the description, and that was everything you missed in the update. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.